Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. In today's lecture, we will study graphs, directed graphs, simple graphs, complete graphs, complete bipartite graphs, subgraphs, and the concept of degrees. So, starting with the definition of graph, imagine an organization that wants to set up teams of 3 to work on some projects. In order to maximize the number of people on each team who had previous experience working together successfully, the director asked the members to provide names of their past partners. This information is displayed below both in a table and in a diagram. So Anna has displayed these two past partners, Dan and Flo, and Bev has Kai, Flo, and Hal, and similarly the others have these partners with whom they have worked successfully. So this information can be represented in a diagram, and we are choosing Anna as a dot here, and we are representing this vertex as a Anna. And now Anna has past partners Dan and Flo, so we have attached an edge with Dan and Flo, and similarly we have seen that Dan has Anna and Ed. So Dana and Ed, and we have to select another vertex for Ed and join this. So that's how we can represent this table in a graph form. And so here we can say that the graph consists of vertices and edges, and edges are constructed with the given relationship between the two vertices. So any phenomena in which 2 or more discrete elements are present and there is some relation between these elements, this can be represented through the help of this graph. In general, a graph consists of a set of vertices and a set of edges connecting various pairs of vertices. The edges may be straight or curved and should either connect one vertex to another or a vertex to itself, as shown below. So now we can see here that we have some set of vertices here, and there are some edges which are connecting these vertices. So here we can see that V1 is connecting V4, and we have labeled these vertices and edges, so that it can be easily seen that which vertex is related with what vertex. And we can see here that V4 is related to itself, and so it's called a loop. And if we have a single vertex, so we can say that this vertex is isolated vertex. And here we can see that only 2 vertices are present and a single edge is present here. So these are some examples of graphs. Now in the first example, we can see that V2 and V3 are attached with 2 edges, in which we can see that these 2 edges are connecting to same vertices. So these edges are known as parallel edges. Now we consider the formal definition of graphs. A graph G consists of 2 finite sets, a non-empty set Vg of vertices and a set Eg of edges, where each edge is associated with a set consisting of either 1 or 2 vertices, called its endpoints. The correspondence from edges to endpoints is called the edge endpoint function. An edge with just one endpoint is called a loop, and 2 or more distinct edges with the same set of endpoints are said to be parallel. An edge is said to connect its endpoints. 2 vertices that are connected by an edge are called adjacent. and a vertex that is an endpoint of a loop is said to be adjacent to itself. An edge is said to be incident on each of its endpoints, and two edges incident on the same endpoint are called adjacent. A vertex on which no edges are incident is called isolated. So these are some basic definitions related to a graph. So here we consider an example to understand what are these definitions. So we can see here that V2 and V1 and V3, these are the vertex set, and E1, E2, E3 and E4 is the edge set. So for E1 edge, the endpoints are V1 and V2, and we see here that for parallel edges we have the same two endpoints. For E2 and E3 we have two same V1 and V3 vertices as an endpoints. So these two edges are known as parallel edges. And we can also say that E1 is attached with V1, so E1 is incident with V1, just like E1 is incident with V2, and hence V2 and V1 are the two adjacent vertices. So V4 has no edge, so it is an isolated vertex, and we can see here that V6 is attached to itself with an edge, so this edge is known as loop. Now we see that in A part we are required to write the vertex set and the edge set and give a table showing the edge endpoint function. So for this we see here that we have the vertex set V1, V2 up to V6, and we have 7 edges represented by E1, E2 up to E7. So how to form an edge endpoint function? So we see here that E1 is related to what vertices? So we see here it is related to V1 and V2, and similarly we see here that E2 edge is connecting V1 and V3 and so on. So for each edge we are having endpoints incident with this edge. So for E6, because E6 is attached with V5, V5 has a loop, so there is a single vertex here, and in other cases we see there that two vertices are present as a set. So each edge can also be represented by a set of two elements from vertices set. Consider a drawing of a graph, and we can see that we can draw it in many other ways. So for this graph in which we have some vertices and edges, we can also draw this graph like this shown in the figure. So drawing of a graph does not affect the structure of a graph. So here the structure is same as of this graph. The main structure arises from the edges which are connecting the vertices. Now we see how to label the drawings of a graph to represent the same graph. So consider the two drawings shown in a figure. Label vertices and edges in such a way that both drawings represent the same graph. In a part we see here that this looks like a star and this looks like a pentagon, but these two figures are same as a graph. So for this we put some labels on these vertices and edges and see how they are the same graphs. So for V1 we have selected this vertex as a V1 and this is as a V2, V3, V4 and V5, and from V1 to V2 we have selected an edge E1, and then from V2 to V2 and so on. So here is the table which representing the edges and its endpoints. So for using this table we can label this diagram. So we are labeling V1, V2, V3, V4 and V5, and we see here that E1 is present between V1 and V2. So there is an edge E1 from V1 to V2. There is an edge from E1 from V1 to V2, and then we see here that E2 is present between V2 and V3. So we have placed here E2, and just like that we have represented all the edges which are connecting these vertices. So after labeling all these vertices and edges, we can see that both the graph are same. Now we see the definition of a directed graph or digraph. A digraph consists of two finite sets, a non-empty set which is known as the set of vertices, and a set DG of directed edges, where each edge is associated with an ordered pair of vertices known as its endpoints. If edge E is associated with the pair VW of vertices, then E is said to be the directed edge from V to W. So in this ordered pair we see here that the starting point is V and ending point is W. So there is an order between the edges of these vertices. So we are denoting this edge by VW. So for WV we see here that this edge will start from W and end at V. We can also use arrows to represent digraphs. Like here we can see that in this example we are using graphs to represent knowledge. What paper finish does the New York Times use? So we see here some periodicals, printed writing, Sports Illustrated and Sports Magazine, Sports News, Glossy and Newspaper and Suburban Weekly. And so here we can see that periodical made of paper and Motor Trend instance of periodical. So these are some pages from New York Times, and we see here what they are containing. So periodical contains printed writing, and Sports Magazine is a periodical, and just like Sports Illustrated is an instance of Sport Magazine, and Sport Magazine contains sports news, and Sport Magazine paper finish is glossy. So these are some paper finish used in New York Times.